Welcome back to Got No Control podcast. I am your host, Ronek, and before I introduce my special guest today, I want to give a special thank you to our sponsors who helped these episodes be possible. 360 Spray Paint. 360 Spray Paint is a spray paint company that is manufactured and distributed out of Mexico, and they aim to offer high-quality spray paint to all spray paint enthusiasts. So make sure to check them out at 360 California at 360 Spray Paint. Looking to print quality stickers? Make sure to check out stickerla.com. They offer quality stickers, and take advantage of Got No Control as a code to receive 15% off your next order. This does not include any promo deals. So make sure to check them out at stickerla.com. And today is a special episode, very first female on Got No Control podcast. I'm excited to welcome Omega. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm excited to be here as well. Let's rock it. Let's go.
Where can I start, man? It's an exciting chapter to my podcast. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
I've been wanting to interview a female for a very long time, and let's jump into it. So, what is home to Omega?
Home is, well, first of all, 818 is what I always call it.
Okay.
I'm always like 818-213. But
Okay.
home for me is 818.
Yeah.
First of all, I was born in Riverside, but came over here in
Okay.
Hollywood in 4th grade. So
Okay.
I'm like a straight no-ho. And then my mom just every 2 years moved us. Like, no, if you're trying to get us from here, to this, to that, she got someone else to be going.
Okay.
So, like, barely unpacked boxes before we had packed them up again.
Yeah.
But then ended up kind of like settling in, kind of the Chester, Ventura,
Okay.
area out there. So that's why I was like,
And what does NoHo mean? What is that?
no problem.
Okay. Oh, North Hollywood. I know the lingo. My bad. So how was it at home? Do you come from a very big family, like a lot of siblings, or was it very small at home?
We're 3 of us.
Okay.
My sister moved to Texas, so it was my younger brother, and he's 3 years younger than me.
Okay.
So it was me, my mom, and him.
Okay. So I personally think it's better for them to smaller, because I don't come from a big family, so I don't know how it feels to have like 100 cousins. And
I'm so jealous of everyone who does.
Yeah.
Because I like looking at that. But
Like,
my mom, we don't have it.
yeah, like,
It becomes like, I'm just only have 2 people. But like,
because my friends tell me like, oh, I don't like that cousin, but I like this cousin.
like, hey,
Yeah.
we run around with cousins. I don't know that.
I don't even know how that feels. As I tell people like, hey man, I'm just living it day by day. So what do you think initiated you to start becoming creative or opening that door for you?
Okay.
As far as being creative.
Always being an artist.
Okay.
Always. And I always go back to this short story. Was it 2nd grade?
Okay.
In my elementary, there was a 5th grade teacher.
Yeah.
And she was doing a mural in the cafeteria area.
Okay.
And only the 5th graders were supposed to do it. But then
Yeah.
she called me.
The chosen one.
She called me to help out, and I was just feeling so special and so awesome because
Yeah.
she saw that I was an artist. Shout out to Miss Castagna.
Miss Castagna. Shout out.
Thank you. So, moving forward, that was like it, and I've always been an artist. I've always done stuff.
Okay.
Junior high, everything else. And, I mean, the teacher I played later, but I always had that artistic being.
Yeah. And what was that mural consisting of? Like, what was the theme behind that mural? Was it just like a school mascot, or?
No, I remember it was like rainbows and flowers and all kinds of stuff. It was kind of like,
Okay.
it was just like collaboration.
Very colorful.
Super colorful.
Okay.
Super colorful.
Okay. And is that what kind of triggered you to kind of like start looking at art as something that you might be interested in?
I've always been interested.
Yeah, it's always been in you?
Like, I see a wall or something, I see faces in it.
Yeah.
I see texture, and I'm like, I see the face. Like, it's just always been something that I don't know where there's a start.
Oh, okay.
It's just always been. And my mom was in rock bands, and
Okay.
my house was, the bass drum,
Yeah.
they practiced in the living room, so I was always surrounded by art,
Okay.
creative people, and, I was born in 1970. So,
Whoa, whoa.
my aunt and my mom,
Yeah.
handmade things and just paintings, and my aunt's an artist.
Okay.
So was my mom, but my aunt like painted canvases.
To your knowledge, what was like your very first medium that you kind of like tested around with?
My very first what?
Medium as far as like utensil, like was it acrylic, pastel, or?
I would say school and things like that. So whatever they did in school, watercolors, like we did pastel.
Yeah.
Junior high, we had to do a mosaic or I could like magazines.
Okay.
Like owl things.
Yeah, yeah.
I turned it in late and the teacher gave me a fail. And then he was like, you can't tell my niece. You know, it was like, it was a big fight.
Yeah.
So it was just like, you know, there was just a whole thing, you know.
Okay.
All mediums.
And as far as graffiti, how did graffiti kind of maneuver its way into your life?
Oh, wow. Okay, we're going to go back to my skating days.
Okay. Oh, so you skated?
Oh, yeah.
Skateboard.
Oh, my God, yes.
Okay, okay.
You know, my younger brother.
Yeah.
He taught me how to follow that.
Okay. Shout out the younger brother.
Sorry, Bert. So, yeah, like when we were, I don't know, I was a young kid, he was a young kid. We were living on Woodman and Magnolia.
Okay.
And we had, there used to be battles like right over here by the Milky and Buffalo Street.
Okay.
And so Buffalo Street skaters
Yeah.
had like a ramp.
Yeah.
And then like Woodman skaters and Buffalo Street
Uh-huh.
had this like friendly competition.
Okay.
And so anyway, my brother was out there and he was teaching me how to ollie and
Yeah.
doing all this stuff. And so I started him in skating.
Okay.
And being introduced to graffiti is like, you know, when you're a skater,
Yeah.
you know every little crack and crevice
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
of the street, of what you're looking at, like broken glass. I call no hope the city with broken glass.
Okay.
Everywhere you go, there's broken glass.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's my quote of the day. No.
And did he ever kind of get picked on, kind of like, look at this guy teaching his sister how to skate?
No, he didn't get picked on.
Okay.
I always got it because, oh, that's a girl, that's a girl. I'm like, what are you that? It's a girl. What are you trying to get? You know, like,
Yeah.
my battle in all this was being a female.
Okay.
Like, I was always the only girl on my baseball team.
Okay.
The only girl skater.
Yeah.
The only girl graffiti guy.
Yeah.
You know, like, not the only girl, don't get me wrong. But like,
And your circle.
you know, in a male-dominated world, like
Yeah.
something drew me to that. Like, I don't know why or what, but I think it was just the energy I felt, like, from the guys
Okay.
was not the same energy I feel from females.
Okay.
And that man energy was so aggressive and so, like, you know, you could, like, go out and
Yeah.
get on your knees and get up and keep going. And I'm like, yeah.
But I'm proud of you because you didn't give up. You kept going.
I was totally.
That someone else would be like, oh no, that's too much for me. I'm gonna walk it.
It drew me. Like, I think it was really just the male energy. Like, I'm really drawn to that alpha energy.
Okay.
You know?
And how deep did you get into skateboarding? Was it to a point where like you were sponsored, or was it just
Yeah.
kind of like messing around that thing?
Yeah, we got sponsored. Well, me and my friends. I got sponsored by a store out of the Chanel area called Pacific Access.
Okay.
And for us, it was like dope to be sponsored.
Yeah.
We got free shit. We're like, yeah, we got free drugs, we
Yeah.
got free bearings,
Yeah.
free wheels, we might get a tag. You
Yeah.
know? It was dope. And then we got to go to skating competitions. And, you know, I got to meet like the cowgirls, Dee Christensen.
Okay.
Badass.
Yeah.
No, Anita Christensen.
Okay.
She was a badass street skater. Dee was a freestyle skater.
Okay.
And so I got to meet like the Cal team and just connecting with those females who were also badass.
Yeah.
Like, so inspiring.
And just real quick, what is the difference between a street skater and a freestyle skater?
Freestyle used to do tricks.
Okay.
Like and they're skinny boards.
Yeah.
And they like flip them and spin around on the wheel. And
Oh, okay.
do, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and street skaters were like ollies and, you know, just like kick up to a grind, to a rail slide, to a kickflip to get off. And then,
Oh, okay.
you know, ramps, pools, and street skating is just different.
Yeah.
Not one is better than the other because freestyle is dope. It's
Yeah.
like, I kind of sounds like dancing on a board.
Okay.
It was sick. Like, how do people do that?
Can I kind of make the reference maybe like pop locking and breakdancing?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Because you know how they're both.
You know what though? Because popping and breaking like are closer together than freestyle. And
Oh, okay,
I
okay,
would say
okay,
totally kind of. I wouldn't actually put them so close together.
okay, gotcha. So the adventure of skateboarding, right? Being out there skateboarding, doing your thing, sponsorships, shows. Is this what led you to introduce yourself to graffiti?
Yeah, that was in high school. I went to Grant.
Okay.
And as a skater, skating out here too.
Yeah.
We were hanging out. We'd be skating like, the no-leg ramp. We'd be skating the U-Way, Laurel Canyon.
Yeah.
And like every Saturday, Sunday, like people would be rolling up with like the ramp. We're like, oh, let's bring the ramp.
Get the wax.
So we got the launch ramp.
Yeah.
It was all like pretty dope. And back then too, there was a divide between the girls.
Okay.
You were either a skater, which was like me and I don't know who else, because I don't remember another girl.
Yeah.
And what's called the Betties.
The Betties?
The Betties.
Okay.
The Betties don't eat one. And then they sat on the curb and they just watched all the cars.
Yeah.
But like I was like out there doing it, so it was kind of a different thing. And that would push also the tagging world, and props to Elf. She went to school with me too.
Okay.
And he was really getting up at that time, and I was friends with him in the skate world. And then I see him, whatever. And then, so like we hit some tags, and I was like, okay, all this like angst and rebellion and energy.
Yeah.
He was like the most magnetic thing.
Okay.
So, and I was young, 15, 16, I don't even know.
Yeah.
And it just drew me into that.
Okay.
My mom was cool. My mom was amazing, so I'm not trying to say like I don't like this craft.
But she was supportive of your dream.
She worked so much that she wasn't home.
Oh, okay.
This would all love. And she, back then there was no cell phone, but just call me, let me know you're okay.
Yeah.
Let me know you're not okay.
Yeah.
I got you. So at some point.
2 in the morning, hey mom, I'm alive.
At some point, I need a freaking phone booth, put the quarter in, mom, I'm alive. Okay, cool, bye. So not saying that she wasn't there in that way, but at the same time, she wasn't there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I was really left to my own devices.
Okay.
And my own devices are pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Ain't no shame in my game.
Yeah.
I just followed to the wall. That's what I did.
And is Els kind of like, you could say, not your mentor, but kind of like the person that kind of like introduced you and kind of put you on type thing, or no?
I would say so, actually.
Okay.
Honestly, because he's the first person in my skate world that connected those dots.
Okay.
And after that, like we were talking, once you skate, like you're seeing every crack and every crevice, every tag, everything.
Yeah.
You're really just breathing the freaking street.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Uh-huh.
I love it so much. Like, I love that street vibe, just the air, the smell, everything. And so, all that came together, and I was like, all right, I got this. And so I just started tagging low-key, knowing who I was for a long time.
So you came up with a name and you started doing things. Okay.
I started on graffiti. Well, at first, so in high school, I had like this copperish red hair.
Yeah.
And my new name was Fire.
Fire.
And I told that to all my teachers, like, oh, what's your name? I'm like, I'm Fire. And they're like, I'm Fire. What's your name? I'm like, I'm Fire. I was like 86, 87.
Okay.
86, yeah. And they all thought I was a little strange, but they respected me. And I was like, okay, that's pretty dope,
Yeah.
At Grant, they were like, okay. So I was Fire. And the first couple of tags I put up was Fire. And then I wasn't quite digging that as much as the next name I came up with.
Okay. You kind of didn't like how the letters are flowing, or was it more of like a personal thing?
It was a little deeper. I was, again, going back to the skate world, I was always taking like the 420 from here to the valley over the hill and skating Venice.
Is that a bus, 420?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Everything doing 560 to 420.
Yeah.
And it's like killing it. And so coming back, well, it would go through Westwood.
Okay.
And it was literally passenger at all the college houses.
Okay.
And so I was like literally seeing it over and over. And one day I just saw this Omega sign.
Yeah.
And I just sat with it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like bam, it's kind of like whoosh. Like I was really feeling Omega.
Oh, so you've been Omega since high school?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like 86, 87. I was fired for like a minute.
Okay.
And then that's when it hit me and struck me. And I was like, okay, you know what? This is hidden from me. I love how that music ends.
Yeah.
Alpha is the start, Omega is the end.
Yeah.
And it struck me in a lot of ways.
Okay.
Again, being a young girl in a, male-dominated genre.
Yeah.
So many times.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, you know what? This is it.
And what is the emotion and the thought process for young Omega when you're like knowing that you're in a male-dominated space, but yet you're not going to give up? What is the emotion and thought process going like at the moment?
Watching.
That's a good way to go about it. Yeah.
I like watching.
Yeah.
Anytime I had opposition, I'd be like, okay. And
Yeah.
internally, I was like, watching.
Okay.
So like, I'd be like, and you know, crowd gathers behind me.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, I'd be like, everyone's like, oh, that's cool for a girl.
Yeah.
That's sick for a girl.
Yeah.
And literally my whole entire goal at that time was to get people behind me that I heard them talking
Yeah.
to stop saying for a girl.
Okay.
And that just drove me. So like, that was a fire. Like you have no idea.
Okay.
It just drove me so hard to get better and better and better. Each piece I did, I tried to get better and better.
Okay.
And I pieced every single day.
Is there something that influenced you as far as a writer or a style that kind of like, not mimic it, but like just influenced by it?
Definitely. I would say skill. For
Skill.
sure. Because I was painting at the Woodland Yard.
Okay.
Like kind of down the street from my pad.
Yeah.
And so I paint over myself. I go at night, first of all.
Okay.
I no one can know my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Painting at night. Okay, wow. Working on my hand control, my style.
Yeah.
I have a picture. You can see layers of my pieces over each other.
Yeah.
And then you can see a little bit of a fire piece down below. It's kind of cool now, but just I would go over and over and over myself. But at the Woodland Yard, each guy was up a lot.
Okay.
And so skill was up a lot. And skill was, dude, not just was, but is, but
Yeah.
so sick.
Okay.
Like his style, his letter scheme.
Yeah.
I was like, what and how?
Yeah.
You know? And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, you know, but that's what yards are. Yards are where we go to learn from each other.
Okay.
That's where we communicate.
Yeah.
You know, like who's here, who did that, like, oh, so-and-so is here, there's a tag. Or look at this dope-ass piece, and when you watch people paint, you're in school.
Yeah.
School's in session.
Definitely.
You know? That's what it is at yards.
And how was the introduction? Like the first time you actually got to meet the man behind the work?
Oh, bro. Wait for this story. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm doing my thing, painting over myself again at Woodman, but this time in the daytime.
Yeah.
So Woodman was a train track. It wasn't active, right? But
Okay.
It was a train track.
Yeah.
So up at the beginning of the block was open. This block was open. So cops would swoop in and get us, okay?
Okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, they attacked us. We always got away. And there's a whole other story about that.
Yeah.
But one day, so I'm painting, and I see this dust cloud tearing down the tracks. Like, this dust cloud. And I'm painting on this one. Shit.
Ooh.
Oh my God. You know, I'm just like going, okay, what do I have to deal with? And it was a dune buggy.
Yeah.
Skill, snap, swan. I want to say maybe master.
Okay.
Tearing down, picking up all the dust and dirt. They had just DTA'd that dune buggy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pull up, and I was like, and they're like, you Omega? I'm like, yeah. And that's how I got to it. That's how they got to it. So they'd see me up, but I had kept my identity, like,
Yeah.
I didn't tell anybody who I was for like over a year. People didn't know who I was.
Oh, so you were very low key.
Mobbed the
Yeah.
valley, mobbed it.
Yeah.
Like, nobody knew who it was. I'd be sitting there in the circle, and people would be like, who's Omega? I don't know. I'd be like,
Just minding your own business.
yeah, it's like, la-la-la. You know?
And did that open up the door to kind of like hang out with these guys and learn from them, or was it just kind of like a high and by?
Yeah, like we met, everything was cool. And
Yeah.
they were literally going, you're Omega? Like, they
Yeah.
really thought Omega was a dude. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Because girls didn't do that.
Yeah.
And,
So you were like kind of like a rare breed, one of a kind type thing.
way.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay.
I mean, like, I sound like such a bad okay, oh my God, sorry. But I would like literally get up at like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
My mom would be asleep, and I'd go out and I'd be mobbing until like 6, because that's when people start going to work.
Okay.
Like every night.
Yeah.
And so people would wake up, and the valley was just covered with Omega tags.
Yeah.
You know, my mom even knew who it was, but not this.
Yeah. She's.
Like, what is this? You know?
Yeah.
You know?
And
Like,
And how were you going about getting your utensils in the valley at the time to go out and paint? Were you just going, just hardware stores?
Yep, right down from where, right by Valley College, then you see a hardware store.
Okay.
And so, you go back, go do some stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes you run out of paint.
Yeah.
So you go back and rack some more, go back to the yard.
Yeah.
Do your thing. But yeah, we were on the way to, there was none of that. We were hijacking bus classes to ride the bus and paying money.
And did you also take part in riding on the bus or not much?
Riding on the bus?
Like mobbing the bus?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
That was a big deal.
How was that for you coming out as like, okay, I'm a girl and I'm doing this, and everybody just kind of people just looking at you like, hey, what the hell's going on over here?
Exactly. Everyone I talk to now, they're like, oh my God, I just see you all over the buses, all over the valley. I'm like, yeah. Because I was scared too. And a kid.
Yeah.
We have cars, we have money. We're just taking the bus everywhere.
Okay.
And so, there's the scribes, the ultimate scribes, and then you might go over with the marker to get that marker in the scribe.
Yeah.
So they try to clean it, you're still there.
Yeah.
And then get back, right in the back seat, there's like this panel right here.
Yeah.
And you got your slap or your tag right there.
And why is that?
Because it was one spot.
Oh, okay.
So like in the back seat, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
There's like this thing right here that divided it somehow.
Yeah.
Whatever the bus is, I don't know. But like if you tag and got that spot, like when you get on the bus, right, the first thing you do is you look at the back door,
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
So that's how you meet people or whatever. And then if your tag is right there, that's the first thing you do. Like,
I see you. And so you're coming out as Omega, right? You're painting. You meet these guys, Swan, Skill, and Snap. You said.
Yeah.
And do you still stay in the valley, or do you start kind of like migrating to other areas of LA?
I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
Again, going back to skating. Skating is everything and everywhere. And going back and forth to Venice, this ties into your question. We'd have to leave Venice at like around 5 o'clock when it started getting dark.
Yeah.
And it was Sunday night, so we go to MCO.
Okay.
MCO is a building in Westwood that I don't know if somebody busted it open, but it was like almost every Sunday. You go to the top of the building, it was like all these levels of just like this really slick parking lot.
Yeah.
It was so dope. Dude, like the Alba team was there, like the Soy B there, like it was so sick.
Yeah.
And like if there's this one turn that you didn't know to turn left instead of right, there'd be a dog pile.
Okay.
Everyone else is coming around.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. But anyway, that ties into like traveling around as a skater, being over the hill and back and forth, like getting up everywhere.
Okay.
I was always up, and then getting in with UTI, like Skill was in Southgate.
Okay.
And so we were always over there, Southgate side. Like,
Oh, so you got down with UTI eventually?
everywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they asked me to get in the crew, and I was like, okay.
Okay, and coming from the valley, obviously, right? Coming from the 818 and ended up in places like Southgate and Venice. It was kind of hard for people to understand the valley, oh, I'm from the valley.
There was no differentiation. It really is like the culture of graffiti, the culture of skating.
Yeah.
Are so similar in that, where it's so diverse. Like people, they would trip out that I was a girl, but they didn't go, you can't do this because you're a girl.
Okay.
Or but I had to prove myself.
Yeah.
I had to get down. I had to get down harder than a guy on a skateboard. I had to get harder than a guy on the wall to get the respect that you would get as a dude.
Yeah.
So again, I just pushed. There was no differentiation on that level.
You were just working twice as hard always.
It's just prove your shit.
Yeah.
Prove your shit. Go home. Don't get on the wall. You can't handle it.
Yeah.
Don't try to skate that ramp. Go.
Did you ever get put in a position where someone might have just wanted a battle just because they thought they could pick on you because you're a female?
Yeah. And that was when I was in the Earth Crew. We were all at Pico Union.
Okay.
And some little fools were behind me talking shit because I was a girl, and I was like, okay, right, let's battle.
Yeah.
You think you're so dope? Let's battle. Let's do a tag battle.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I did. I did my nonstop. They did their nonstop, and they was like, oh, maybe we're you. So I know that's okay.
Were you ever?
I'm not afraid to go, hey, man, let's battle.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to go there, fine. It'll push me to get better too. Hey, thanks for that.
But I mean, it wasn't like, how can I explain? Was it kind of like you beat them and they're sore losers? Like, oh, screw you. Or was it kind of like just mutual, like respect?
They take it in stride.
Yeah, like, all right, I lost.
All right. Because again, I always like, as a female,
Yeah.
I'm always needing to, not needing.
Yeah.
There's that battle. In other people's brain, prove myself.
Yeah.
You know, so when I hit a knocked-out, or when I hit a piece, or when I'm doing a character and someone goes, oh, so that's just it.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's not for a girl.
Okay.
And that's the difference. You know, I always trying to push through that barrier.
Okay.
That is a true barrier. And I think all the other female writers can feel me on that.
Okay.
You know?
And being in LA, right, you're already into graffiti, you're doing your thing. At any point does the New York style graffiti impact you in any way? Like, do you meet a graffiti writer from New York, or do you, I don't know, see something from New York and kind of be like, oh, damn, this is different?
I definitely use inspiration from New York writers, from even just LA writers. With that being said, back in 90, well, we started in 89, 90 to 92-ish, I had the hip hop shop. And so a lot of New York writers used to come through there too.
Okay.
You know, like the Crazy Legs and all Graffiti crew, and like, you know, dope ass writers used to come through all the time. And what it was more like, I'm inspired by you.
Yeah.
And, you know, if they have a cool color scheme or a cool style, it's okay to be inspired by another person. That being said, I give mad props and mad respect to Lady Pink.
Yeah.
For pushing through that barrier too, because she's still paying now.
Okay.
But I give mad respect to her for pushing through. And that was even earlier than what I had to deal with.
Yeah.
She was dealing with that kind of like sexism.
Yeah.
Way earlier, but she had the support of her too. But I know what it's like to still have to push.
And did you ever get a chance to meet her?
Not yet. I would love to.
Okay, we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen.
Lady, I want to meet you.
And you met.
I'm always like supporting her. Like, you know, I know the universe will make that happen.
Next time you come to Lady Pink, Lady Pink,
Yes.
A1A, you gotta come down.
Yes, girl. Let's do this.
And I know you mentioned the hip hop shop.
Yes.
Can you speak a little bit about how that came about and how the idea came about opening that?
Yeah, I was 18 years old.
Okay.
I had, 17 years old. I had met Hector, but I had started making these really cool hats.
Okay.
And hats and like the Daisy Age and all that stuff, you know, like just really cool, like velvety things. And he knew the lady who owned 781 Ogden with a flower shop.
Okay.
And it was 2 sides, and she was having a hard time paying the bill, so she decided to co-rent with us on the other side.
Okay.
And I started off with me selling my hat.
Yeah.
And then there was like these other pieces that were kind of shaped exactly like a crown here.
Okay.
And so I had to hold them, and I painted them like crowns.
Yeah.
Like make these dope-ass medallions.
Yeah.
And then that became a thing. We started designing shirts. Then the flower shop lady actually went out of business on her side as well. We ended up taking over Foley's.
Oh, wow.
And it just became the hip hop shop. We put a DJ page, fat laces, everything hip hop culture. We had break floor, records at one point. We had kids, and oh my god, it was just amazing.
And this was all ran by yourself? Like it was just a one-man army type thing?
Me and Hector.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for those right now, 2024, like, I mean, they're never going to be able to witness that because it's the past.
I know, it was magical.
Can you get a little bit into detail about the vibe, the environment of just being in there around greatness and creativity at all moment?
It was just electric. The energy was absolutely something indescribable.
Yeah.
People would come where it was a hub of the culture. That's where we all communicated again.
Yeah.
We had walls across the street. We had this wall, one of the iconic pieces I did on our big walls in Graffiti LA.
Okay.
And then I had a wall on the side, which was my wall.
Yeah.
That was mine.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, CP but we had that one little spot, and it was just such a magical combination of them and us, and we were like a tourist spot too. We get people from Germany, Japan.
Oh, you had people from all over the world coming.
All over the world coming through, like
to buy or just to hang out?
Both.
Okay.
See it, feel it, get stuff, they could hear. Like it was crazy. It was crazy. I mean, we were doing like dope shit.
Yeah, like
exclusive shit, like we have shelters that we buy, and then the guy next door to us was a cobbler.
Okay.
And so we said, hey man, can you like put like 3 layers of foam like stacked up? So we had these like stacked Adidas that were thick.
Yeah.
And then we get like model car paint and paint the static like.
And then you guys were airbrushing too, right?
Yeah, we're airbrushing.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Everything was really different and cool. People walking in, it was just
like you're like in the hip hop mecca type thing.
For real. And like, you know, like dude, Brandon was there. Steve, they were our friends. They helped us out at manage the shop a lot of times when we couldn't be there. So they were just integral in that whole vibe.
That was just a movement.
Like D9, Rocka, like DJ Ken, DJ Rob, like everybody was there. Oh my god, I just can't even like say how many people came through.
And this was for the early stages of what we know today as streetwear, right? Yeah. Because streetwear wasn't really as heavy as what it is today back then.
Not at all. We started our shop, and then a little while later, Feet Non-Stop opened.
Okay.
A little after that, the Beastie Boys shop, Extra Large, opened.
Okay.
But it was like after all that.
But it's fair to say you guys influenced those shops.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, Hector was doing Fat Hat.
Yeah.
That was the design then. We had Connor. What else did we have? But we had like a bunch of stuff. It was mostly like our design.
Because I know.
These extra thick prints. Like,
yeah.
They were so thick. Literally. Check it out. If anybody has one of those shirts, you know what I'm talking about. They were so thick. If it was a back print, your collar would start creeping up.
Yeah.
It would be like heavy on that. And then like you'd sweat, you know?
Yeah.
But that was part of the thing we wanted to create. We wanted that extra thick layer, like make it really different, stand out.
Okay.
And we had like breakdown styles there. We had, you know, across the street from Fairfax Highs where it was, and we just kind of integrated everybody, everything, all hip hop.
It was one of the things that you just had to be there to witness.
Oh, God, yeah. A lot of really great people came out of there, and when I think about, like, on Tablet Rock, I wrote the Rock Army Science, he's a guy, like, people's, like, he was, like, you know, I was, like, what, 19, 20? When we were doing this? Like, who does that nowadays? Think about it. Like, you know, and they were a little bit younger than me, so I don't know if he was, like, maybe 16, if I'm not mistaken. But, like, now seeing us all grow up as adults and coming into our own fruition and knowing that we had that time together to culminate that energy, and it was a space where we could support each other. Yeah. There was no wrong way to be hip-hop. Okay. It was like, bro, like, do your thing. Go for it. Everything was like, go for it. There was no judgment. Yeah. We weren't criticizing each other. Everything was like, go for it. You know, and just to see like so many people that I knew as younglings growing up to be such amazing adults. And to see them now. It really feels good. I mean, it really feels good. And to see them now and be successful in their craft and be like, I remember when you were at the shop. I know. Some people say that, like, oh, I met you when I was 13, I came in this shop. And I was like, oh, like, it just feels so good. And for those out there that are wondering, why did the shop close? The shop closed because at that time, Hector and I were, I would say, 22-ish, and we were really trying to, like, serve spiritually. Yeah. And, you know, we went to all kinds of churches, Methodist, Buddhist, Catholic, we went everywhere. We went to see my digital sweats, we cut everything. And then we finally landed on religion. It was a Pentecostal religion. Okay. And we really felt like we really wanted to move forward with what we believed at the time was what God wanted from us. Okay. The church influenced us. And basically, in a nutshell, not trying to candy coat this, told us that what we were doing was not a God. Okay. And we believed it. Yeah. So, you know, with the shop didn't close for any other reason but that. Okay. You know, and I wonder what would have happened if it didn't. But never know. Has a way of making things happen the way they need to happen. Have you ever came to thought to possibly open something of that realm again?
Yeah. Do you think the hip hop shop will come back in the future?
I think the energy from the hip hop shop and all that is carrying over into what I'm doing now today at the Omega Gallery.
Yeah.
My goal is to be the bridge that the shop was back then for people to network and elevate their professional endeavors and to explore their artistic everything.
Yeah.
And no judgments, no criticism. It's just like, come here and be you, be free. And that's what the hip hop shop was, the energy back then as well. And I have big plans for Omega Gallery to, do future events.
Okay.
So definitely stay tuned. It's happening.
It's coming.
It's happening.
And jumping a little bit back more into the graffiti subject. So what was next for you? You're hanging out with UTI. You're at the hip hop shop. You leave the hip hop shop. It closes down. And what was next for you after that?
I was being married and having my kids.
Okay.
Being really heavily involved in the church for about 14 years.
Okay.
It was a long time.
Yeah.
And then I came back, I got divorced, and then I came back into the scene for a little bit, and then met and married my husband, who was amazing.
Yeah.
And then we had a little one.
Yeah.
And so, for that past 10 years, I've been raising him.
Yeah.
And so, visiting mama, and now he's 11, and I know that we can schedule-wise work things out better with my husband and myself.
Okay.
He teaches classes, so there's no way to be like go hanging and having, the baby with him. That's not going to happen. But he's not doing anymore. He's 11 and he trains now, so now I have to do it with me.
Okay.
And so being back in the crew, time-wise, it was time for me. Time allowances.
Oh, so you took a pause from painting?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, not from painting, because I still did my art. I did like special effects and makeup art. And
okay.
It's like on my Instagram, and I would like paint my face, and it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
But so I've always been doing my art. As far as spray painting, having aerosol and everything involved in my environment.
Yeah.
I had to wait till my son was not really affected by that.
Okay. And is there any other artists out there, whether it's graffiti artists or just spray paint artists, that's a female that you've kind of witnessed and seen them come up and kind of be like, damn, that's cool?
Yes. Zurich.
How you say it again?
Zurich.
Zurich.
She's in Europe. Her pieces are badass.
Okay.
Matsy.
I like Matsy.
Her pieces are badass.
Yeah.
Like badass.
I'm a fan of Matsy.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of dope girls out there. I could name a bunch of them. I have a line that I draw.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a bunch of female artists who kind of paint for the gram.
Yeah.
They'll paint their little stores and 200,000 likes.
Yeah.
But the style isn't there for me.
Okay.
So when you take away the through and all the like, what does that letter look like? If I could take that one letter out of there,
okay.
Is that letter good or is it bad?
Gotcha.
Would it stand alone? Would this letter stand on its own?
Yeah.
And I don't see that. So when I draw my line, if these letters don't stand on their own,
okay.
You did a lot of stuff. You need to use shorts. You look really cute on the ladder. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
However, I jump over to the other side when like Zurich and I see a fucking mad style.
Yeah.
And they're not just doing the same thing over and over. And they're not painting for the gram to look cute, whatever. And that to me, mad respect.
Okay.
Like, mad respect.
They're pushing themselves to the next level.
Yeah, because they're not doing it for the reasons that other people are. And I'm not saying the other people that do that are bad or wrong.
Yeah.
I don't want to put it out there like that.
Yeah.
I'm saying where my respect lies is not on that side, my respect lies on this side.
Okay.
Twisting your style, you got sick ass hand control.
Yeah.
Like, hand control, bro, like, all day. And like your twisting style is not just like same thing. Over here, the thing is like, oh, do the same thing. No, it's a building brand. We're building, it's paying for the brand.
Okay.
And there might be a reason for that they have. And that's all good. I'm not criticizing. I'm saying what my identify is the artist that puts himself.
Gotcha. And while coming up younger, like in high school era or a little after high school, maybe before the shop, did you ever come across another female writer?
I did. I got to be a Destiny, not a Fox.
Okay.
Destiny was the first girl who I knew that was actually tagging, and she was living over in Hollywood.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people don't give her the Fox she deserves, and I want to give her the Fox right now.
Okay. Destiny.
Yeah, and she had a younger sister, her name was Two-Tone.
Okay.
So she had a blue eye and a green eye.
Yeah.
And so we called her Two.
Yeah.
But yeah, Two would come out of the shop, and you know, there were just cool people, very cool people.
A subject that I wanted to talk about, not to get too deep into it, but being a female graffiti writer, right? I don't know if it happened or not in the past, but ever having a boyfriend that paints graffiti, is that two things that could coordinate at the same time? Like, is it possible? Is it kind of like bumping heads type thing?
I think it depends on the relationship, but
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the first, I would say, boyfriend I had in the graph world was Celtic, and I was like 16, 17
Yeah.
years old. And then, you know, then I met Hector, and that was, I was getting, when I was 20.
Okay.
And, you know, like, people would be like, oh yeah, I'll never get TV show. I was like, wait, what? Never, ever. Remember Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, no. No.
Because many.
You tried to the heart, you tried all day.
Okay.
That was always my one too. But just because I was with him, married to him,
Yeah.
had good kids with him, doesn't mean that I'm in his group.
Okay.
And none of that ever. I was always me, he was always him, and that's how it is.
Okay. The reason why I asked is because many people say that that can really happen, right? Like, yeah.
Honestly, like, okay, so say somebody gets to somebody and they're really inspiring each other, like, cool.
Yeah.
But I'm me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, I always do.
How was it jumping back into the graffiti world after taking a break? Was it a bumpy road, or was it just all love when you got back?
It was really different.
Yeah.
Really different, bro. Like, Zero,
Yeah.
he'd be my go-to guy. I'd be like, yo, like, where are all these new cans? I don't even know what's going on. Like, I rolled up, like, to a dentist, like, came to the wall one time with, like a bag full of fire lines, right?
Yeah.
And, like, you know, all the tips over here, my fingers getting all jacked up. Like, you know, these new paints. I was like, oh, okay, bro. And he's like, yeah, you know, there's a thing called Coca and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, bro, thanks for me. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Things had changed so much.
Yeah.
And I was like the wider caps.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know, these things?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, what the heck? what the?
Yeah.
They're dope. Like,
Yeah.
I wish I had these when I tried to paint for convention that day.
Yeah.
You know, my fingers getting all cranked up. I'm like, you know, or whatever. Oh, yeah, it's always a lot of fun, like, bringing all the new stuff. And, like, all the new brands, like your brand here.
Yeah.
That's it, dude. Like, I love seeing people come up
Yeah.
and invent and go for it. Like, it doesn't have to be one.
Cause you could, yeah, 360.
Evolve, like, these are all the, you know, what's that? Iron Man.
Because you come from a time where, like, all this wasn't accessible, right?
It was only
and do-yourself type
and,
stuff.
like, booty ass stuff.
Yeah.
Or floral paint.
Yeah. So painting pieces with stock tape.
Stock tip,
Yeah.
well, you know, we wrap the testers.
Yeah.
But, you know.
It's definitely a difference there.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my god, huge. It's a night and day. Literally,
Yeah.
it's dope. It's a dope day now. Everybody has so many tools. It's pretty cool.
So I guess you could say that the hardest part of coming back would just be adapting to what's new, as far as utensils.
I guess so. I mean, just trying to okay, well, let me just talk about my food. I was really careful to speak to them, integrate myself back into the new culture.
Okay.
The culture.
Okay.
So I've been gone for like 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
On my food. So I was talking, you know, to like breathe, and two, flex. Well, stop, like, what is this culture about now? It's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
So I can't come back in like a freaking bulldozer.
Yeah.
You know, that's not it. That's just not it. You don't do that. That's not it. So, what do you guys think? How do you guys operate? How do these pieces of the two maneuver in today's world? And it's a different thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have a council, we have, like, just so much organization.
Yeah.
Incredibly amazing. The organization that has gone on in Peru.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. You know, like,
yeah.
you see these kids running around, you know, whatever. But I was like, wow, this is a true organization. It is a professional, true organization. And the councils have held it down. I see the benefits. I see how it works its way against street conflict.
Okay.
We can work that out in a professional way and really move forward and progress. It's really impressive.
And being for something so impressive, right?
Yeah.
Being from a crew, how can you say that everybody goes about keeping it neutral? Like, I know everybody has a different opinion. Like, I want to do this and they want to do that. But how does the neutral button come in?
We have a saying that we keep it professional.
Okay.
So just like if you were sitting at a studio table with the same differences amongst y'all,
yeah,
you would be professional.
Definitely.
You would discuss it.
Yeah.
And say, I'm going to hear you, I'm going to listen to you, and let's see where we can find that middle ground, how we can solve it, and let's be together in this solution problem solving.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's really professional, really just amazing.
And in your personal opinion, what do you think? Not makes it different, but what do you think separates UTI from the rest of the pack that's out there?
Okay, I can only talk from my perspective, and I've been on again for all those years, 10, 15 years. I barely stopped back and doing this since October.
Okay.
So I'm like 6 months back in. And what I'm saying UTI is the same vibe that I had when I first got in.
Okay.
It's still here. And I feel like, for me personally, I don't know what it is, so I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
And what I see in my group is unity, solidarity, professionalism.
Okay.
A true care for each other. If someone's going through something, we're going to reach out.
Definitely.
You know, if people are incarcerated, we're going to write to them and help them out with finances if we can. And people who have lost people, we're going to call them and just be there as a support system. It's not always just me.
Yeah.
We're a true family, dude. And that's what it was for me back then, and that's what it is for me right now.
Definitely. Shout out to the whole UTI crew. What would you say to that female out there that might get inspired by his interview, that she's out there painting and is going through the same stuff that you already went through? What would you say to her?
Keep going and draw. Get in your book. Get in your book.
Yeah.
If you can put it in your book, you can put it on the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you put it in your book and you get to the wall, maybe you might have to work on your pen control, but you've already put in the work in your book.
Yeah.
So, it's there. Or, if you do just want to go hit a wall, just go off the head, go for that too. Maybe be 50-50.
Okay.
Because you have to be battle ready too.
Yeah.
You have to be ready to go off the cuff. But, that being said, if you're drawing all the time, you can.
Yeah.
Because you've been done doing that. Now it's just dude,
yeah.
And I got to do it. What? But you've done your work. So do your work. Do your homework. Again, don't take anybody's name. Be inspired by people, but don't write.
Definitely.
Do not write. And I encourage anybody to develop their signature style.
Okay.
So I push my style always. I'm always trying to push.
Yeah.
But you see one signature style in my letter is always that stack 3D.
Yeah.
You'll know that's me.
Okay.
And if someone else does that shit, you're like, oh, man, it's that.
Yeah.
Because that's my signature.
Yeah.
So
that's what sets you apart from the pack.
And back in the day, I did all that honeycomb style.
Yeah.
Letters. And so it's the honeycombs and the stack 3D is what I developed for myself.
Okay.
So, develop a signature style.
Gotcha.
where he doesn't give up.
And I know you mentioned being a mother to 3 beautiful children. How do you maneuver as a mother if a child will come to you and be like, "Hey, mom, I want to paint too. I want to be out there painting."
Let's go. Let's go. My little son, he's 11.
Yeah.
He's learn. I'm like, he's already supposed to nature himself.
Yeah.
You heard X45.
Okay.
I'm like, why is it? I just like it. And
Okay.
That's what it's about. You
Okay.
just like it. That's you.
Yeah.
X, when you found you, that's his letter. And I got some stuff here in the studio where I was like, okay.
Would you feel it would impact you differently if they would decide to go behind your back and do it, and just do it on their own? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
There's none of that.
And
I mean, it was tried to. I gotta say, like, my work here is done. But I would practice.
okay, gotcha.
Okay, but second to that too, like, there's so much surveillance out here now.
Yeah.
And this is what I tell my kids: you can't get away with the shit we got away with.
It's a different
You
time.
can't get away with it, bro. Like, your phones are listening. Everything's listening. You're on the grid.
Yeah.
There's cameras everywhere. Like, we didn't have that, so we got away with everything. You know, like, mad tags. Like, I got away with mad tags.
Okay.
That you get busted.
Okay.
Like, seriously. Good fuck.
And maneuvering to another topic, did you ever make yourself down to like places like Belmont Tunnel and stuff like that in LA?
Oh my God, of course.
How was that?
Okay, here's a funny story.
Yeah.
The first time I was going to Belmont, it was the exit battle.
Okay.
I didn't know where it was. And that's what I did all the time. I hop on a bus, like, don't work cities. I just kind of knew kind of did.
Yeah.
So I get on the bus and I was like, oh, I think you kind of look like the driver, whatever. And so I just kind of followed him there.
Yeah.
And he got off. And it turned out to be two. I know. That's how I do.
Okay.
You know, so anyway, I followed him to the Belmont and that's how I knew how to get there. But yeah, then I was cruising there all the time too. I was always in Belmont.
Was it ever a shock to everybody there seeing you just because you were a female?
Yeah.
That were always.
I always go top to bottom.
Yeah.
Always top to bottom. And there was like a car lot up top that we always kind of thought the car was always great.
Yeah.
Like, it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a thing.
And not to get too deep into the conversation of the battle, but how was it witnessing that battle? Was it what it was portrayed to be?
It was dope seeing two really incredible artists go for it like that.
Okay.
And I didn't know anything. There's a picture of us. I have it on my Instagram.
Okay.
1989.
Yeah.
Of all of us that were there that day.
Yeah.
And that's the first day, like, I met Hector, and there's all the crew is dope. Like, this is what that picture like, is dope.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the leader. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I literally had no idea. But I saw a slick video on YouTube.
Okay.
And he said, what started? I never even knew what started.
Yeah.
I was ready for that, okay? And it just never came up. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, I'm there. So he said, apparently, Hector went up to Slick and was like, hey, you want to paint together? So he's like, yeah, cool. He thought it was going to be a paint session. And then Hector rolls in and does the thing QSO. And then he's like, hey, and Slick says, yeah, he comes up and goes, oh yeah, I was looking at letters. He's like, oh yeah, those are cool. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm taking Slick out.
That's what it meant? Oh, wow.
And Slick is like, okay. Like, he didn't expect this to be about. He thought they were just painting together.
Yeah.
And then the next day, you know, they did the Medusa, the Scorpion, you remember all that stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how it kind of escalated.
Because it was definitely one of a kind. I mean, they had media down there. It was.
Yeah, well, the media happened when they went to Levitt.
Okay.
Because that was the second round. That's when all the media coverage was.
Okay.
And it was like, other crews were determining who was winning or not. But like, I thought that was a crazy story. I never knew that. So y'all gotta see that video. It's on YouTube. Slick talks about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like, whoa.
being down there, were you able to kind of connect with other like crews or? Yeah.
That's what it was.
But you kept it strictly your crew. Like you never joined
For
the.
me?
Yeah.
No, I've never been in another crew.
Okay.
And I don't say anything have anybody at all from me, I need to that.
Okay. So you're a fair believer is one family only, and that's it?
For me.
For you.
And I know that's something a lot of people have during a lot of crews, and that's cool. That's cool. For me personally, there was no way I could be hitting up like 10 of us. All these crews, like, I didn't go there.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't even know how to even get another crew. Like, take a crew. But for me.
Yeah.
Each guy from day one, from that day I rolled up on the women.
That was it.
That was it. I was like, this is my ride it out right here. And then, you know, when I was taking a break, like, I was still talking to the OG, Hester and Hero, and who was I talking to too? Definitely Swan.
Okay.
You know, like,
shout out Swan.
Just OGs.
Yeah.
And they were always good friends, like, even now or not, like, they were always like good friends. You know, that's dope.
And I know we got a little bit into Belmontano, not to get too deep more into it, but last year we lost Tempt, K2S. Did you ever get a chance to meet him down there?
I did, yeah, I met Tempt.
How was Tempt? I know you say he was a cool guy, but
He was a cool guy. As far as my interactions with him, he seems very kind of private.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was from the other side of the hill. We were from the 818.
Yeah.
And so it's not like we didn't, you know, mingle at all, but we didn't have that, like, chill out with each other all the time vibe.
Okay.
You know, we'd meet each other there and be like, hey, everyone's cool. We go to shows.
Yeah.
At, you know, the barn hall and all the, like, exhibits and, you know, the Raleigh studios and everything. And he was always there, and it was all cool, but, like, my personal interaction was always on that chill vibe, but not, like, on the kickback vibe.
Okay.
We weren't like that.
Yeah.
You know? But I know he was a really cool guy.
Man, may he rest in peace.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
That was a big hit for the community. You know?
it's, you know, losing a lot of individuals like himself that were very big factors in the graffiti culture. I feel like it's important to keep the memory alive, and they do, you know, by keeping their names in conversations and tributes and stuff like that. And because it's hard to lose someone, you know, someone that's been there and being a big factor, and it's a tremendous loss.
It is. I wanted, on that note, let's keep Skate alive.
Yeah.
Forever.
Rest in peace, Skate.
He, for me, was like this big giant Viking. You know?
Yeah.
And every time he was around me, you know, being the only girl in this environment, I'm obviously, I'm like, you know, I can handle it. But like, he always made me feel safe.
Okay.
As a girl.
Yeah.
You know, in this area. And like, I see him over the hill all the time, Hollywood, like, he gets in the club. And
Yeah.
just you don't want him to stop, just like his presence, you know. And it was like around me, he would become Aaron. So on that note, keeping the memory of Skate alive, I also want to give a big shout out to Ghost.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. He was an icon of the crew.
Okay.
Founding, one of the founding members, and just an amazing guy. Shout out to Ghost.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
To all of them, they're all missed.
Yeah, everybody.
And is there any shout outs you want to give out to anybody out there?
Skill, John, Master, Smurf, Garrison, Celtic, Ghost. These are all the guys that, you know, normally you don't out running around doing shenanigans. Snap.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the whole crew really did. So, a big shout out to, just on a side note, for John Skill.
Okay.
Coming back to the files, we always have the drop-up sessions at Celtics Pod.
Okay.
And one day, John was like, get down in his book, and I'm like, what is in your head? Like, I wanted to know what he was thinking.
Yeah.
That's how I felt like I could better my style.
Okay.
I learned from my mentors, you know? And he said, you know, David, I was going to do it. It seems like every letter has to be coming from someone.
Okay.
Changed my whole name.
Yeah.
Shout out to Skill.
And before we get on out of here, for years to come, you know, what do you want the world to remember Omega for?
I would like the world to remember me for person that created a bridge for them to create, to network, to better themselves. As remember me as somebody who would support them and encourage them, and just be that person that was like a safe space.
Okay.
And that's what I want to give back, and that's everything, and that's what I want to do.
And again, thank you for popping the cherry here. I got no control.
This is so dope. Thank you so much.
I want to,
Yes.
and I want to give you a very, thank you for everything you've contributed to the graffiti culture, for allowing me to be here in your studio. It's amazing.
Thank you for being here.
And
Thank you as well.
anybody in A1A, you guys have to come check out Omega Studio. And you want to let them know what streets we're in so they could check it out?
We are, I'm on Lincoln and Collins, which is 1 block north of Burbank. But you can also reach me on Omega_Lisa_official on Instagram. So you can DM me so I can make sure I'm here at the studio if y'all want to talk to you.
And make sure to like and subscribe. And also make sure to check out GanoControl.com. Check out our merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies, and much more. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.
Bye.